on this Friday evening. It's the Adam Smasher Show, an average sports fan perspective on Dallas sports. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, including something that broke earlier this afternoon from the big man Jerry Jones himself. I gotta say, I was a little shocked at what he posted out there, what he said in his interview with 105.3 The Fan today. So we'll get to that here momentarily. But first thing, I just want to welcome you all, whoever is joining in and watching. Thank you. Be sure to please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. And then, as always, don't forget to turn that bell on to get notified for later videos coming up here in the near future. As we've got Dallas Mavericks season still going. That was a tough game last night versus Phoenix, but it was a well-fought game all the way up until the very end. Dallas Stars, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Finally got their first road win since November 27th over the Buffalo Sabres last night. But we are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and all the things that have been said this week from not only Jerry Jones, but also from legendary Cowboys of Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson, Jimmy Johnson. They all had stuff to say about just what a disappointment this season was for the Dallas Cowboys. So what I want to do real quick, pardon me for a second, while I am working through some kinks at the present moment. So, I mean, basically, you all know as well as I do that it just season did not turn out all too great at all this year. 12-5 record, and to lose 23-17 to the San Francisco 49ers at AT&T Stadium in a game that wasn't even that close, as I'd already talked about in my post-game reaction. But it's like whenever you jump to what Troy Aikman had stated, talking about something that I was iterating on the post-game reaction, Troy Aikman just hit it dead on the money in a much more detailed look. When he was interviewing with the ticket, it was 2 days ago in his interview with the ticket. He said, San Francisco rushed four guys for the most part. They blitz occasionally. They're a four-man rush football team. A lot of times when you say that, then you think they're playing coverage. They mix in some coverage, but there was a lot of single coverage on CeeDee Lamb. And Troy goes on to say, I hate going back to when I was playing because nobody cares, but what I see around the league, it's not just Dallas. I've seen it with a lot of teams. A lot of these offenses want to scheme things. The coordinators, it's all about scheme rather than this corner's playing soft. He's scared to death. Just run the route tree, run a comeback, run a route, run a curl, run anything. You're going to complete the pass whenever you want. Michael Irvin would have had 10 catches at halftime if they played us the way they played CeeDee Lamb in that game. The game is not that difficult. If I've got a great player at wide receiver and a corner's playing him in single coverage, throw him the ball. He's going to win most of the time. This is exactly what I was talking about on Sunday in terms of CeeDee Lamb and just in our offensive game plan, whether it was from Kellen Moore or Dak Prescott, that our best playmakers with the ball in their hands, I say we have two of them. Our two best playmakers when they have the ball in their hand is CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. When they get the ball in their hand, there's always a potential for a big breakout play, potentially a touchdown, a big touchdown. And yet, between CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, I don't even think there was 5 touches. Which I'll take a detailed look into that here in just a moment. But it's basically just reiterating what I've been trying to question the coaching staff with Kellen Moore, with Mike McCarthy, is why are you spending so much time scheming instead of, in the middle of a game, adjust to whatever the defense is giving you, and you throw scheme out the window when you have a single coverage? You look for your mismatch. Who is your mismatch? Who's man on man? And come up with the route tree. Run every bit of route, run every man beater route that there is in the book. And especially when it's CeeDee Lamb, yeah, you want to get the ball in his hands as many times as you possibly can. If the matchup allows for it. And he was being single covered almost the entire game. So that's exactly what Troy Aikman had stated to the Ticket in his interview with them. When it came to Michael Irvin's comments yesterday, he went on to say, every team you look at, the stars of the team showed up and played. Irvin said on the Stacking the Box podcast, you can't win this game if your stars don't show up and play. Dak Prescott, 69 passer rating. He had a 27 QBR. Not good at all. Zeke Elliott, 31 rushing yards, but I think he only had like 12 carries. CeeDee Lamb, 21 yards on 1 reception. When you don't have your star players come to show up in a playoff game, it's something is very, very, very wrong here for the Dallas Cowboys. Something is very wrong. And you take a look at Dak Prescott, who is a $40 million per year quarterback, and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are the only 2 other quarterbacks in the league that even make remotely close per season to what Dak is making right now. And both Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, they absolutely took care of business the way they should have versus Pittsburgh, versus the New England Patriots. And now they're playing against each other for the division round. I'll get to that matchup here in just a moment. And yet Dak Prescott, who in the game versus the 49ers, he was 23 for 43. Barely above 50% with a QBR of 27. Not good. Not good at all for Dak Prescott. And so when you go into Drew Pearson, talking about Dak making $40 million a year, Drew Pearson really hit the nail on the coffin with these comments. I'm just wavering now with Dak. Drew said, I saw a regression as the season went on, and that's a disappointment at $40 million per year. Pearson goes on to say, it's wavered some towards the end of the season. I was really high on Dak Prescott, really hopeful when they first drafted him. I was excited about that because of what he did at Mississippi State. He brought that winning attitude there, and I thought he could bring that here. At $40 million a year, you've got to take charge in that situation. You got to be the man. And then when you go into Dak Prescott's comments that were immediately after the game, to where when he was asked about the fans throwing trash towards the referees, and Dak said credit to them. Spur of the moment, emotions running high. To which Pearson, to those comments, he said, "Don't go there. Whenever the Cowboys lose, it's always somebody else's fault," and that's what Dak was trying to do, pass the blame. Throughout the season, Pearson said, Dak, he says all the right things, but now's the time to put up. Hence the phrase, time to put up or shut up. Sometimes you just gotta let your actions, you gotta let your results on the field speak for itself, and they did not. The results on the field did not speak for itself at all. Jimmy Johnson's statement. It's very simple yet telling and terrifying at the same time. That with Dak Prescott, he now has the same playoff record that Tony Romo had through his first 6 seasons at 1-3, and Jimmy Johnson's simple reply to that was a shame. Just a shame. you can't be more simple and yet more gut punch than that right there. It's come playoff time, what I've seen so much watching Dak Prescott play year after year after year, I would see him falter, stumble out of the gate against the playoff caliber teams, and in the playoffs, I see him stumble through the first 3 quarters, and then in the last quarter, fourth quarter, he's like, "Oh, now I gotta get stuff done. I've got to get stuff done, and we got work to do. Let's do it." And that's not gonna get you to where you want to go at all. So that's the frustrating thing with that particular situation. So other than that, it's really hard to tell as to whether or not a coaching change is needed to try to help out Dak Prescott break out of whatever psychic funk that he's been in since he got back from the calf strain versus Denver. Or was it just simply that the defenses started figuring out what to do, and Denver just handed them the game plan. They handed them the blueprint on how to stop Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense. Something I have seen time and time again with Dak Prescott, he plays well when he has a successful running attack. When he has a successful running attack, he's able to absolutely play lights out from it because it opens everything up, gives him more time off play actions. A lot of defenses are creeping in a lot closer. They're bringing in blitz packages, and that opens the door for Dak Prescott to make some big plays. But when you're asking Dak Prescott, when you're putting the ball in his hands and you're asking him, "I need you to be our gunslinger. We don't have a running game. I need you to be our gunslinger against these playoff caliber teams and playoff caliber defenses," Dak struggles. Dak struggles and struggles and struggles through the first 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, it's 2-minute drill, and Dak's having the time of his life. So other than that, what I want for Dak Prescott is to be more than just a fourth quarter quarterback against the playoff caliber teams. I want him to play 4 quarters. But I'll be satisfied if I can get 3 quarters out of Dak Prescott. 3 productive quarters of just not getting shut out all the time and not making your correct reads to move the chains, to move the ball down the field. Now, going to what Jerry Jones had said today. Jerry Jones made it perfectly clear that right now he is not endorsing Mike McCarthy to remain as head coach. Does that mean McCarthy's out? No. Could potentially be that Jerry's trying to drag this out, make it the story of the week in the world of the NFL. And that wouldn't surprise me one bit for Jerry to do that. But that doesn't mean that there's not a possibility that what Jerry said after the game that it doesn't ring true. Because in a way, I think it does ring true that for Jerry, this was probably one of the most disappointing losses and one of the most disappointing seasons that Jerry has had with the Cowboys. It's the same for me too. But it's been disappointing for 25 years. It's been disappointing for 25 years. 11 straight playoff appearances without getting to the NFC Championship game. I don't know what else you can say to that other than it's rough. It's tough to think about what the Cowboys can do from this point forward. I just know that changes have to be made. Dak Prescott, we're in the contract situation with him. We're stuck in his contract. And so there's no change in Dak. There's no switching Dak out for somebody else. Maybe draft a quarterback in the 4th round or the 5th round just to send Dak a message that, you're still our starter, but we can potentially look at other guys if we need to, if we have to. Just do whatever you can to light a fire under Dak Prescott to have him come out and perform the way he needs to perform. For our offensive line, in the perfect world, I have Tyron Smith being let go. And I would either draft Tyron Smith's replacement or get a free agent to fill in for Tyron Smith. And I would move Lyle Collins to left guard. I'd give Biadasz one more chance. I want to give Biadasz one more chance. Zach Martin at right guard, and then Terrence Steele at right tackle, and see where that goes from there. But with Tyron Smith's contract situation, it makes it difficult. It makes it really, really, really difficult. But sometimes your best player is not your most paid player. So that's the situation. In a perfect world, that's what I would like to see out of the offensive line. Don't know if we'll get that. Don't know what changes will happen in this upcoming offseason for the offensive line. And of course, the coaching situation with Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn both potentially getting head coaching jobs in the NFL somewhere else. It really throws a wild card into this whole situation. And I think that's why Jerry Jones went out. I think that was one of the reasons Jerry Jones went out to say that he's not endorsing yet. He's not endorsing yet Mike McCarthy staying on as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So, other than that, it's a tough spot. For all the Cowboy fans out there, I grieve. I grieve with you. The past 25 years have just been nothing but disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And until we start seeing some massive changes from the top to the bottom, I'm worried that it's going to continue to be disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. We gotta be better. We have to be better. We have to execute better. We have to play better consistently, day in, day out. Going into Dallas Stars real quick. It was a big win last night in Buffalo. They were down 3-1 at one point. Came back. It was 3-2, 3-3. Ended up winning the game 5-4. They ended up being down 4-3 going in the third period. And they scored 2 goals. And Jason Robertson had 2 clutch goals, including the game-winning goal to give us that 5-4 lead, to give us our first road win since November 27th. So that was really, really, really huge. That was a huge milestone that we needed to get past. Just on a quick note, if my camera has been lagging or buffering during the stream, I apologize. I will look into that immediately and see what I can do to get that fixed. I was trying to make some changes to get a clearer picture, but clearly it may not be working with that case. So I'll take a look at that and see what changes I can get fixed up. But anyway, so that about wraps it up for this segment. Just whenever y'all get an opportunity, if you haven't checked out the post game reaction from the Cowboys 49ers game, definitely take a look at that. Once again, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Get that bell on, and I will see y'all hopefully real soon. Dallas Stars are playing tonight versus the Detroit Red Wings. That game is going on right now. So go Stars, go Cowboys. This is Adam Smasher signing out. See ya.